So I'm reminded of what happened 120 years ago on Azusa Street in Los Angeles, California, when there was a man named William Seymour who was preaching about the baptism of the Holy Ghost and the Bible evidence of speaking other tongues. And the power of God came into the room with such a place they could literally see the cloud. It would get thicker and thicker. Sometimes it was a mist, other times it was like a cloud you go in and out of. Well, on the days where it was very strong, they could see fire on top of the building. To the point the Los Angeles Fire Department was called because people saw fire on the building and they thought the building was on fire. But that didn't happen once, it happened multiple times. And then one time, someone said the fire's on the building, so one of the young men ran outside to see it, but they saw something they didn't see before. They saw fire coming up from the building, but they looked up and they saw fire coming down from heaven, meeting the fire coming from the building in the air and combining. And so John G. Lake attended this revival, and they said, well, Brother Lake, what is that? They said, it's the fire of the Holy Ghost coming up from the believers in the sanctuary, meeting the fire of the Holy Ghost falling from heaven. And it says when that began to happen, the power of God would radiate from that building. They would call it the bloodline. It would radiate down the street where people would start getting healed outside of the building. People would be slain in the spirit outside of the building. They said there was one time people were getting off of the subway station and they would hit the power and lay out in the subway station. From the power that radiated from that small, old, used to be barn. Because God's people got together and they were hungry for the Holy Ghost. You say, well, when the fire falls, people act different. Yeah, it's true. If you touch something hot, you begin to move. It's very rare that you hold on something hot and you don't get to moving. And so there are times people encounter the fire of the Holy Ghost and they get to moving. They may dance, they may shake, they may fall. It's the fire of the Holy Ghost. Yes, Lord. But also fire burns up what can be consumed. And so if there's some things in your life that need to be consumed, issues, problems, sicknesses, and diseases, they can be burned up by the Holy Ghost, by his fire, when you let the fire move.